Unpopular opinion: work-life balance should not be our goal. But let's chat about it. Hey lady, welcome back to your new favorite talk show, Grown Lady Chat, with me, your host, Dr. Sherunda Simone. A few weeks ago on Instagram, I asked you all to submit questions for a Q&A video. This specific question, how I balance life, how I organize my life, that was the most common question I received. So I figured that I would take that information and make a separate video in case you are one of the people who had that burning, question. I am a wife, a mother, a doctor, and an entrepreneur. So I'm going to be showing you and telling you how I do it from a mindset perspective. While I won't be sharing all of my tools and planners and apps, I will be letting you know how I organize my life and just intentional steps that I do so that my life is less chaotic and less stressful. Now, I do not do it perfectly at all, but I do have a certain level of productivity that I've noticed in my life. And when I talk to other women, it's something that they would like to achieve as well. So I really hope that this video helps you. Be sure to chat it up in the comments and let me know. Every episode, I do a question of the day so that we can generate good conversation and give you a starting point to chat it up in the comments. And I like to remind you on nearly every episode that a reason why I want for you to be engaged and chat it up is, number one, so that more people can see the video because it does help the algorithm and analytics, but also because it allows you more opportunities to be entered in the random giveaway. So in order for you to be entered into the giveaway, you have to be engaged in the community. All right, so all the details for the giveaway, it's in the description, can check it out. But the main thing that you want to do is chat it up in the comments and follow on the socials. All right, basically, I want for you to give to the community just as much as you get from the community. And if you do win one of the giveaway prizes, it could be home decor, beauty, makeup, skincare, faith-based resources, or personal development tools. So all things that we as women enjoy and that can help us in life. Today's question of the day is this: if you had unlimited time, what would you do? What new hobby would you pick up? What profession would you pursue? Where would you go? And now it's time for Dr. Sherunda Simone's random but helpful information. In the Bible, it tells us that others will know that we are Christ's followers by our love. And we know that love is a verb. So this week, I want to challenge you to do a random act of kindness, a random act of love for a perfect stranger. I know that the concept of work-life balance is one that is heavily discussed, but here's the thing. What I've realized is that balance isn't real. In life, there's always a trade-off. There's always a give in order to get. And so when I think about balance, I no longer focus so much on having everything in equilibrium, because when we think about the concept of balance, that means there's no movement. Think about a scale. When two sides of the scale are balanced, there's no movement. There's not one side higher or lower than the other. Personally, I don't really want that in my life. I don't want static, steady, no movement. I want progress. I want growth. I had to shift my mindset many years ago because I realized that I was trying to make everything, operate on the same level, and I wasn't accomplishing as much, and I was burning myself out. I was running myself ragged, and I was also beating up on myself because I felt as though I couldn't give 100% to everything. Like, even mathematically, that's not possible. I cannot give 100% to everything. Instead, my mindset has shifted to prioritizing. All right, but let me give you an example. 8 years ago, I lost nearly 93 pounds. And it was after I gave birth to my first son, Brennan. And in order for me to do that, I had to be consumed with eating right, working out consistently, lifestyle changes. I would not have been able to do it in the way I did unless I was like all in, right? So I would come home from work, and instead of, just plopping down and watching TV, I had to say no, go immediately change, put on my workout clothes and go to the gym, or immediately put on a YouTube video and work out. Instead of me just saying, okay, whatever is available, I'm going to eat it, I had to meal prep. I had to discuss with hubby and say, okay, we need to, make sure that these foods are available because I need to eat a certain way to accomplish my goal. So when we talk about balance in life, like in order for you to accomplish certain goals, big goals or little goals, you have to go all in at some point. Now, I'm not saying that that means that nothing else matters, right? I was, still a mom, I was still a wife, I'm, was still a doctor. So I still had to do, those things as well and show up and perform and, do my very best. But I had to be intentional. I had to forego just flopping on the couch and watching TV. I had to trade that for watching, my smartphone on the treadmill, right? So there was a trade-off there. There's not like a balance where it's like, okay, I've put in my hours at work and now I'm going to put in, the hours with rest and relaxation. Not if I wanted to achieve the goal. With that example, it kind of helps me remember and realize, and hopefully it helps you realize, that balance is not a sustainable concept when it comes to being productive and accomplishing your goals. Whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to eat better, whether you're trying to save money, whether you're trying to be intentional as a mother or get the promotion at your job. You can't just give a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit, somewhere else. So you have to hone in and focus. And that doesn't mean you're neglecting everything else, but your mindset needs to be, all right, right now, this is a priority. You have to stop looking for equilibrium. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to give up something in order to get something else. But in the process of doing that, give yourself some grace, all right? We're not talking about perfection. It's not like every evening I came home and hopped on the treadmill and ran 2 miles. No, that didn't happen. But more often than not, like the 80-20 rule, 80% of the time, that's what I did. And so I noticed the improvement. I lost nearly 100 pounds, right? But life is about give and take. We want to perform actions that matter most with those that matter most and do the actions that have the biggest impact in the moment. And the actions that we take, they can change based on our circumstances, right? So now I still have about 10 pounds of baby weight to lose from my last baby, right? She's about to be 4, so she's not really a baby anymore, but anyway, I digress. I still have, 10 pounds that I want to lose. Well, I am not spending as much time, working out and lifting weights and doing all those things, because the circumstances have changed. I have a smaller goal, so I can give a little less intention to my weight loss journey and I can focus on my business. Now, one book that really helped me hone in on prioritizing and doing the actions and activities that have the biggest impact is the book called Essentialism: The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown. And I'll link that below for you if you'd like it, or you can just search it up yourself. You do not have to use my link, okay? But now I do want to do a disclaimer. And I like to say this often, that I cannot fully endorse everything or any concept in a book or by the author because I haven't read and explored all of their bodies of work, all right? So I urge you, read it for yourself. If you're interested, take what you need, leave what you don't, and don't think that I'm like, oh yes, everything by Greg McKeown is, godsend. I can't say that, but I can say that this book, it was really helpful to me. When I read the book, it helped to stretch my thoughts because I used to be that kind of person where it was like, oh, if it's good, then I need to do it. If it's helpful, I need to do it. If it's going to help others, I need to do it. And I was constantly finding myself saying yes to things that weren't going to help further me along or further God's purpose in my life, even though they were good. I no longer want to focus on busy work. Right? Again, we're talking about mindsets, like productivity, my mindset. I want to be more productive and at peace versus just busy. And I think, especially as women, we are so eager and comfortable to tell people how busy we are. Like if you ask most women, like, hey, how are you? I'm good, but I'm busy. I mean, and I say it too because it's the truth. I'm good and I'm busy. But at the same time, that's no longer like a goal for me, right? I don't want to be busy and stressed out. I want to be productive and at peace. So I had to make a mindset shift. In order for me to do that, I had to start implementing routines. Routines help to decrease mental clutter, all right? So if you have a plan to follow, then you're not going to spend the mental time trying to figure out what you need to do next, because there's already a plan in place. And so your mind is less taken up with numerous decision-making steps, like what, when, who, how, who else, what will we eat, what will we wear, when will we get there, when are we going to leave? No, we need to begin to develop routines in our lives. And I know on my personal brand, Sherunda Simone YouTube, I share quite a few routines, right? I have my morning routine, evening routine, I have workout routine. Now, I don't share every routine on socials, but I've just implemented routines in my life and in the lives of my family members because they are predictable. They help to decrease chaos. Now, it's not like it always happens as I plan, but at least I have a plan. And so my whole family, we can work as a unit for this family routine. Our evening routine when the kids are in school versus, during the summer. There's a different routine on a Sunday morning versus a Saturday morning. So at least there's a guide. It's going to help you be more productive, but also your family be more productive. And I mentioned this in a recent video that oftentimes as women, we expect people to read our minds. I know, I said it. It's true though. And so we get frustrated when our children or our husbands don't read our mind. They don't know what we expect of them. But let's cut them some slack and let's tell them what we expect. And if they don't get it right the first few times, let's keep on reinforcing it versus just getting frustrated and walking away or doing it ourselves. All right, but that's a whole nother conversation. I love you. I love you. Somebody has to say it, okay? So there, I said it, it's done. We're all trying to be better people, right? Now, according to Forbes.com, the human brain processes about 11 million pieces of information per second unconsciously and 40 pieces per second consciously. The average person has about 50 thoughts per minute or about 1 thought per second. So if we look at a 24-hour day, that day has 86,400 seconds. Now let's say you're awake from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Then that is roughly 57,500 seconds, meaning that you can have nearly 57,000 thoughts in a day. That's a lot. And that's not including the millions of pieces of information that you're having to process. So I try to look for ways to minimize the endless thoughts that bombard my mind, the endless information that I have to process. And having a routine helps. And you have to find whatever works best for you and your family and, tweak it. Tweak it based on the season, the situation, people's age, their activities, right? Your business that you're running, right? You have to tweak it, your work schedule, your husband's schedule. Steve Jobs mentioned in interviews that he decided years ago to wear the same outfit every day so he could eliminate at least 1 thought a day. What should I wear? As women, I don't know about you, but I am pretty consumed with what I wear, but I like clothes and fashion. I figured what can I do to eliminate at least that thought in the day? So you might want to try this as well. Now, I am not committed to the point of wearing the same outfit every day. No, ma'am, I am not. But I am committed to planning my outfits for the week in advance. And again, I don't always do this perfectly, so please don't think I'm saying that. But for the most part, I will at least plan from Monday to Wednesday, and I'll have some kind of idea what's going to happen Thursday. And I always wear jeans on Friday. I'm trying to cultivate a routine, a discipline in my life that is going to help me be less stressed in the mornings, right? Because you have the kids getting ready for school, you're trying to get ready, to go to work. Even if you're a work from home mom, it doesn't matter. There are things that have to happen in the morning in a timely fashion, and you want to decrease the stress, the breakdowns, the worry. And this is something that I have my kids do as well. Whether you are going to rest, relax more, decompress more, spend time with hubby more, do some self-care, or there's a task that you need to handle, then you can say, okay, well, now I have an extra half an hour because we have a routine. Now I can use that time and be productive. Before I move on from this point, let me just say again, this is the soundbite. Yes, set a routine, set up expectations, set boundaries, have goals. Make sure you tell your family about them. Give them some grace, give yourself some grace. But let go of the notion that you can control everything. Lady, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. You will frustrate yourself and those around you if you don't realize that you are finite in what you can control. We should be focused less on balance and more on peace and productivity. Now, when it comes to organizing my hectic schedule and all of the different projects I'm working on, I am intentional and I write everything down. Everything. Whether I do paper and pen, whether I do digital, whether I do a voice memo to myself, I try as much as I can to take it from my mind and I put it down versus clouding my mind, clouding my thoughts. I'm having to remember, oh, don't forget to call this person, text, email this patient back. No. Take it off off of my mind and I jot it down somewhere. So that way I'm not worried about forgetting something, because that's often what happens. And then we deal with mom guilt, we deal with wife guilt, we deal with friend guilt, because we're like, oh man, or we mess up on the job and we're like, oops, what am I going to do now? So instead, look, I use my Google Assistant and my digital planner for nearly everything. And when something is on my mind and I can't stop to type it out or text it out, I'll use my voice app on my phone. So let's say I'm talking with a friend and we're setting up to, go out for lunch, or I'm talking to one of my kids' teachers and they're like reminding me about, a PTA meeting or something. The first thing I do is I say, hey Google. And if you don't hear me say, hey Google, see, look, my phone, it's there. It's waiting for me to talk. If you don't hear me say that phrase, then 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to remember it. And if I do, it's all God. Instead of trying to remember everything and just thinking like, oh, I know this is important because it deals with something with my kid or my husband or my health, I'm going to remember it. You're just trying to will yourself into remembering. Don't do that. Jot it down. Always trust a dull pencil over a sharp mind. Another thing that has revolutionized my life and allowed me to have productivity and peace is learning how to say no. Lady, look, I know you want to make everyone happy. You want to say yes to all the good things. You want to be invited and you want to show up and you want to be present. You want to be a part of. But let me tell you, if you say yes to everything, that means you're saying no to your peace. You're saying no to your productivity. You're saying no to goals and dreams and plans that you have for yourself and for your family and for your business and for your, education, for your job promotion goals. If you're saying yes to something else, realize you're saying no to another opportunity. We have to say no at times. And even if it's something good, even if it's something that is a positive event, it doesn't mean that you have to always be there. Sometimes you have to forego certain experiences in order to be more productive and be more at peace and be more organized in your life. I used to be that person that would readily say yes, especially if it was something uplifting, like an event. Oh yeah, absolutely, I'll be there. Or someone needed help with a project that I know I'm good at. Absolutely, I'll help you. And in the moment, I really meant to. I really wanted to. But I never stopped to consult my calendar, my planner. I never looked at my voice memos to find out, can you really do this effectively? Can you actually show up for your friend? Can you actually be there fully and committed to the experience? And so what I would find is one of two things would happen. I would say yes, and then I would run myself ragged making it happen. And so then I was either not giving my best or not enjoying myself, or I would find that I had to cancel and say, no, I couldn't do it. And both of those things made me feel absolutely horrible. I had to stop and pause. So instead of answering right away and say, yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll do it. Try and catch yourself and pause. And what I like to say is, let me check my calendar. Let me see if that's possible. Let me talk it over with my husband. Let me check, with my kids' school schedule before I commit, because we can be so eager to help others and to pour into others and to nurture others. And that's all good. Those are all good things. But is it always the right thing that you should do? So learn how to say no. And if you're not ready to say no outright, just say, let me think about it. Let me check my planner. Let me check my schedule. And I think that any reasonable person would understand, and they're going to respect your response versus you showing up and not being fully committed, or you doing, 50% or canceling at the last minute.
Hey lady, are you a woman who loves the Lord and who also enjoys beautiful things? Well, if you are, then you are personally invited to join my exclusive Christian women's group. In this group, we chat about clothes, beauty, home decor, parenting, marriage, cooking, and of course, our Christian walk. It's Christian lifestyle all encompassing. So be sure to join by clicking the link below. I hope to chat with you soon. Now back to our show.
That is it for today's episode. I really hope it helped you. If it did, let me know in the comment section below. And if you have your own productivity tips, drop that down as well, because I would love to learn what you're doing to be more productive and at peace in your own life. Until next episode, remember, I am Dr. Sherunda Simone, and I will either see you at the top or from the top. You decide. Bye.